Here at the famous Roosevelt Arch, leading into Yellowstone National Park, visitors arriving for this spring and summer may be getting something of a break. That's because the Interior Department is backtracking and allowing the National Park Service to hire many more seasonal employees than they hired even a year ago. It'll be about 7,700 now, well above the original 5,000 announced just a week ago.
Well, that's very encouraging. I mean, we were taken aback the fact that at the prospect that perhaps there was going to be very limited seasonal staff in Yellowstone this summer, and that's alarming to say the least.
Montana U.S. Representative Ryan Zinke spoke to The Hill about national park staffing, saying of the layoffs, quote, "I like what DOJ is doing. Let's shake it up, because business as usual is not working in the great outdoors," end quote. In spite of the additional seasonal workers, 1,000 permanent Park Service employees remain laid off. Sexton worries that could hurt the parks and subsequently his business.
When we start talking about economics, then those powers that be, they tend to, jobs, money. Unfortunately, that's where we have to go. And for me personally, it's more about the resource, but obviously I'm invested. If our business doesn't do well, that affects us economically, it affects my staff.
Also affected are park workers like Richard Midget, who were laid off.
And so I had to go on that Friday, on Valentine's Day, with that expectation I'd be fired, and I'd lose my health insurance, I'd lose my income.
Midget says he may be able to get back a former job with park concessionaire Xanterra. There are some people who would say, well, you're bouncing back, you're going to probably get a job in the private sector now. That's just what this is all about. What would you say to them?
I'd say that it's missing the point, because a lot of people that hold these jobs aren't doing it to have money, and you can make more money in the private sector, especially in technology. Are you kidding me?
Montana's senior U.S. Senator, Steve Daines, says in a statement that he's watching park staffing closely. Daines says, quote, "As chairman of the Senate Subcommittee on National Parks, I have seen firsthand the issues facing our public lands, and I'm always looking for ways to address these issues. I'll continue to work with USDA and the DOI to make sure we have personnel in place to protect our lands and our outdoor way of life." Midget says the uncertain atmosphere among park workers is hurting morale.
Not a happy place to be for a lot of people right now. And it's supposed to be that kind of dream job, dream location that doesn't pay well, but you're doing a great service to the American people.
For MTN News, I'm John Shearer in Yellowstone National Park.